Welcome back to our cozy conversation. This is part 2 of Restoring the Divine Feminine with Yèyè Dandara, Sistah Amahklè, and Sister Breanna Grant.
I think that we have been restricted a lot with our bodies. There's so much policing of our bodies, so much restriction that's placed on us. And it starts from young. Like, if you're any kind of time you want to move your hips, you're told you're being fast or you're doing too much. Stop moving your hips, sit down, cover yourself up, and be quiet. Oh, it's like, what the heck? Just not be me, not be creative, and that creative center brings joy. Like our center for joy gets pushed down, bottled up, and that's one of the things why women's empowerment through dance and through all of the things that we're doing is so important for me. Like, no, we can't be bottled up. We have too much power, too much creative energy, too many fantastic ideas. We women implement the social programs. Like, it's the women who says we need this, and then we make it happen.
Yep, that's true.
It's the women who are the social workers and the nurses and the motivators and the leaders, actually, when it comes to social justice. It's the women. I mean, we were going out there to fight for everybody.
Right.
Everybody. And so forget being bottled up and told to be quiet and sit down and stop moving your hips. Move your hips. Move your hips.
Please. Yeah.
Move your arms.
Yeah.
Let your voice come out.
Yes.
I really believe that our literal longevity depends on it. Depends on us remaining free in our bodies and in our thoughts, how we express.
I do know that research shows us that the health of a family is determined by the both maternal and mental health of the woman of the family. So when I use the term mama, sometimes I may be referencing the mother, the grandmother, aunt, cousin, whoever. All mamas. No, disrespect for folks that choose not to go by mother or mom, right? And so if we are not pouring into the mama, then we are doing a deficit to the longevity of our family. So in knowing that, then we would want to do the overall health and care practices to pour into the mom, because then mom pours into family. Right. Same thing for folks that need data to back it. I work in the field of data and statistics, and I tell people all the time, whether you're a funder, a politician, whoever you are, data does give the narrative, but storytelling makes the impact. Mm-hmm. You can look at a data report all the time, right, but you still may not see people. When you hear the story of a person, when we hear the story of the mother, we're able to understand the family, which shows us the health of the community. I think it's the most beautiful thing ever.
And the stories back up the data. The data it's going to drive, like you said, the funders.
Right.
And hopefully also give people the doubters, a better picture of like, oh, what the numbers actually say. Yes. Numbers don't lie. Right. The data doesn't lie. Mm-hmm. When you take away the stories now, you can see the bare bones, where you have to have the stories with that. You have to have the real life experience come into play. Mm-hmm. We often say in our circle that sisterhood saves lives. Yeah. And I've heard you say that, but dance saved your life, but I think you were dancing with some people.
Yes,
right?
For sure.
And the fact that Breanna didn't think you were crazy and she stuck around, mm-hmm, right? In that whatever period that you were going through that story right there, how that brings you all together and helps y'all stick and stay. That sisterhood saves lives. And that is also one of my mottos. It does save lives. It absolutely does. And one of the ways that I think we're out here saving lives is through the Healing Wheel Project. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to come back to that. We're talking about the Healing Wheel Project. That is one of the core programs of Indigo's Cultural Arts Centers. And it has had an immeasurable impact on the women who have attended. Just a little bit about the Healing Wheel Project. It starts off as a retreat. Once a year we've been doing this around Labor Day weekend, primarily over the last several years. Labor Day weekend, we get about 25 or so Black women on a retreat. And we are using all of the ways that we as women, and in particular Black women, support, heal, and love on each other. We come together for that weekend, and we not only have workshops, but we have circles of sharing. And people, the atmosphere is so hard to describe, but we cultivate an atmosphere where you are going to feel welcomed and you're going to feel heard. And knowing that what we say here stays here, and that when you leave here, you still have a cadre of sisters who you can lean on when you leave. It's not like you come to the thing and then y'all disperse and we're not going to talk no more. No, we come together and we become a bond of sisters, even though we may not speak on a weekly or monthly basis. The bond that is formed during that retreat is lasting. It's a very lasting bond. And so there is an understanding and a feeling that it doesn't matter how long since we've talked, I can call up any one of these people and be like, hey, I need to talk, or I need some assistance, or whatever it is. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, I got you. Because that's the atmosphere that we have created. And we use, we have a licensed clinical social worker or a therapist on site. We have, I want to say traditional, and I'm going to say Western. All of these modalities of healing are combined at the retreat. And then, of course, we are also sprinkling in our, not just sprinkling in, we go in on our traditional African modalities, because that's part of our roots and that's part of where we come from. And rediscovering that some of the things we've been doing anyway and how that goes back to where we came from, like honoring our ancestors, remembering them, like honoring those women who came before us, not just those women, but all of our family, who came before us, who paved the way, and the things that they did to stay whole and healthy. Let's bring some of that back into this mix. And that's what we're doing at the Healing Wheel Retreat. And then it expands into this project where we stay with each cohort. So the group that comes this Labor Day weekend will stay together for the next 9 months after that. And we will have more interaction. So we wanted to make sure that things don't fall apart. Because you come to the retreat and you're like, oh, this was amazing, this is great, but then you have to come back into this manufactured world, we're calling it the manufactured world. And no, the reality is what we create. The reality is what we create in that space, because we're building what we want. And then we come back into this manufactured world of all this fakeness and all of this, having to deal, chaotic energy. And then we come back into that and we're like, oh, wait a minute, I need a little more help. And so we decided to expand the project so that we can stay in touch with each other and kind of help each other along the way, continue to build that.
Yeah, I think for me, the Healing Retreat came at a great time in my life, and everything that you're speaking of, I witnessed all of that. And I know I had some of them, two of the mamas came to my place. I called them up. They came, they sat with me in my living room, and we talked, and they heard me. And I feel like even in my own home, they were still serving me, like getting water for me in my own kitchen, they brought me a flower and watered the flower for me and put it up somewhere on the windowsill. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't expect all of this love. I just wanted a listening ear, but it did so much more than just sitting on the couch with me and listen. So the connection is really after the retreat. You're definitely right. Call up, text. If they were able to come, they came. So yeah, yes. I mean, I don't have my mom physically here with me, so to have two women that does major work in the community who are called mamas, it's like, oh man, wow, this feels like my mom's present, my mom's spirit, my mom's energy. So I'm taking it. I'm taking this all in. Yeah. So yeah, beautiful experience afterwards. Yeah.
Yes, because during that retreat, we sing, we dance, we walk in the woods, we ground with the earth, we eat good food that is healthy. It is a vegetarian diet for everybody the whole weekend, and people who are not used to that still love it. It's still very good, and we relax, and then we act silly, and then we learn some stuff, and then we just have a wonderful time reconnecting with ourselves, making new connections with each other, and just being surrounded by nature is very healing. It's very healing and uplifting. I hope to see you at the Healing Retreat sometime, Breanna.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and to see the people now, like in the Kwanzaa community, who came to the retreat, and they like, I can just see like the connections they built because of the retreat. Yeah. So like you said, you gain that new sisterhood, that new community that you didn't have before, and now you have it now. Like I seen it this past Kwanzaa, the connection everybody made because of the healing retreat. So absolutely, yeah, you start to really gain new relationships.
New relationships, yeah. I mean, literally, I had a party for my daughter's graduation yesterday, which was amazing, and like a great percentage of the women there were from the Healing Wheel. Like you were there, but then also there was like Anna came through. I met her through Kwanzaa, and then she came to the Healing Wheel, and like she had never been in my house before. But she kind of like, okay, Mom, let me help you do this. Let me help you do that. She's like, okay, you got it. You were in the kitchen. Like, she's helped me so much, right? And then just like, and then Sister Sansaray, who I've known for a long time, out there decorating in the heat. It was hot. But, you out here trying to help me with the music and get people dancing and, getting people dancing. So I had family, so these sisters are really family now, and we'll jump in and be like, whatever you need, we're going to help each other do this. We're not alone in this healing. We're not alone in this living. We're not alone. And that affirmation is so strong because we're living in a world that wants to make you think you're alone and that you're the only person who's going through this. We live in a world that will make you think you're crazy if you don't open up your mouth and talk about it, try to make a connection.
Where did the name, I'm sorry to cut you off. Where did the name Healing Wheel, like what was the purpose behind wheel? Because I heard you say earlier, healing is important and is healing and advancing or improving. That's what comes to my mind when I hear healing wheel, but also that it's continuous. Like to your point that you have the retreat period, like that in person, that first initiation with your sisters, but being able to connect with them moving forward feels like in my body right now, that feels like the will to me because it's continuous, like it doesn't stop. I think that's so amazing.
So our Sister Mama General, who is the founder of Indigo's Cultural Arts Centers, we call her Sister Mama General because that's what she was. She was a sister, a mama, and she was a general. So Iya Losha Omiire Olomo. and also known in the community as Mama Nia. Give thanks and honor to her. She is such a light. So the Healing Wheel retreat was her baby, her initial thing, and that was one of the requests before she transitioned, that we keep that going. If nothing else, this is what we needed to keep going, and that is what we did. So that's the thing that needed to go. So that was her baby, and she called it the Healing Wheel. And I'm going to give you the tenets that are on that wheel.
Thank you for sharing that. I think, I believe, trying to get out of the habit of saying I think, because if you think it is there. So I believe that needed to be said. I was just feeling that, like, will, continuous. And most wills don't stop unless you make it. It's always intentional.
It's a journey that doesn't end. Like, it's like you say you're healing and you think you've arrived.
Like you heal and then it's done. And you got to be willing to accept that too. Like we've talked about, like, okay, I've gotten past this. Good, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And then a trigger or a memory comes. Right. And then it can take you back to whatever you was thinking or feeling in that moment. So if you've healed through it before, you can heal through it again, and continue to therapize through it. That's not a word, but it's a word today, therapize. Put that on a t-shirt.
So there are 7 tenets to the Healing Wheel. There's culture. There is traditions, values, history, symbols, art, and identity. All right, and so if you've been to the Healing Wheel, you know that we're going to put our culture into it. So it's very African. It's very African. And it includes some of those traditions, such as ancestral veneration. That's one of them. The values of sisterhood, community, and knowing our history. History is part of it. History, you can't do this work in a vacuum. Like, we have a history that affects how we identify ourselves, how we live in this world, how people treat us in this world. It's based off of history. And so we have to know that history. We have to be aware of it. And symbols. What symbols are out here that inform how we think, right? When you see a certain symbol, you think a certain way. You think of a certain thing. And how times when, say, African symbols are kind of like, are treated as something evil or other, right? So we don't want to do that. We're going to look at these symbols and break them down and see what they really mean. Art, because art is that creative thing. Art is a creative expression. And so we use that as well in identity. How you identify. We identify as, we say Black women, people of color, Black and Indigenous. How we identify is important. And you just keep, and that evolves. Sometimes it evolves, it changes. And how we express ourselves, it changes. And how our culture is expressed, it all changes. And so it is a continuous wheel. It keeps turning. And like I said, I don't think we ever become this arrived person. We're always striving to improve, striving to either heal something. And once those things become healed, how are we helping others to heal it? Or how are we helping our family? Once we heal ourselves, we're healing generations. Because the trauma that maybe we don't know we experience, it's not all stuff that we experience in our lives, but stuff that the data shows.
Generational trauma, right? Generational. Weathers. It travels through your bloodstream, through your DNA. You have no control over some of those occurrences that show up in your body, or like why we respond a certain way to the way someone talks to you, or their tone. That's a good one. Yeah.
I was just, this was a few months ago, but I was having a very emotional day, and I was feeling like, what is wrong with me? What is going on? I woke up one morning and early in the late wee hours of the morning, and I was just bawling. And I was having all of this pain. I just had a need to cry and cry and cry. And I knew it was not just mine. This is not my pain. This is somebody else's pain that I'm feeling. And I don't think it was anybody in my household. It was just my grandmother, somebody else's pain. I was feeling it, and I had to let it out. I was like, this isn't mine. But I gotta go. Oh, God. I was like, it was just a whole ugly cry. But it needed to be done. So somebody had to let it release.
I think that happens to me too when I sit at the my mother's altar space, and I've been sleeping in the living room lately, where her pictures and things are set up, and I can feel heavy just out of nowhere. So I can relate to that. Like, where is this energy coming from? I gotta dance it out. I gotta dance it out because that's all I know how to do. But at night and things like that, I don't play the music because I don't want to wake up the household. So I sit with it, and I am like talking to my mom, light up some candles, do what I do to prepare. And sometimes I can dream things. And my mother is either she shows up and says nothing, but it's so vivid that I can remember a message, very, very, very clear. And when I wake up from the dream, and it's about what she was dealing with before she transitioned, and how it wasn't settled, it wasn't resolved, and now it feels like I have to try to resolve it because it wasn't resolved. And I feel like I'm the child that she always depended on to try to take care of things in the household while she was battling with health issues. So when I do feel that energy, I have to say, I know I can't do it all by myself. I can't. The families. So I give myself, just that grace and just say, I do what I can. But I know her job wasn't done, for one. And a lot of things, again, just wasn't a closure. So I think that's where that energy for me can come from. That the trauma, the family, the cycles that have not been broken, and that falls on me, I think, because I was so close to my mom. We were so connected, and our energies are still connecting today. And so so I understand that when you wake up, you're like, what is happening? What is going on? So I have to sit in silence until I fall asleep, until something speaks to my spirit. And that's real. That's real. I know some people, like you said, sometimes people don't really want to believe in it and things like that, but it's real for me. I don't want to accept it and say that, oh, I ain't getting into that because that's let's say what they say, devil stuff and all that stuff. And I'm just like, all right.
Oh, you just having a moment. You just need to chill out.
Yeah. It's real. It happens to me a lot when I sit or sleep in the living room area. If I fall asleep or something on the couch or something from watching TV, it hits me a lot. Yeah.
Something you said earlier, Breanna, made me think of, just want to get into this. You talked about growing up and then understanding how your mother as a woman. And, that's really, I think that is part of our own coming of age as women. We have to learn how to understand our moms as women. I think that can heal a lot of potential traumas that we have with our mothers. Because I know I grew up wanting my mom to be a certain way, but she was not. Right. And then I wanted later for some kind of, I don't know. I felt like I wanted an apology for her not being what I wanted her to be, right. which is crazy, which is really childish. But that's what, I don't know. I wanted an apology for how I wanted her, for her not being what I wanted her to be. And I wasn't getting that. And then I just really took time to try to understand what are all the things that made my mom who she is? Because she was also a teen mom. 17 when she had me. was passed around at her graduation, you know, so it's like she was still coming to be herself. She didn't know who she was. And then she went into the military to try to, you know, so that seems to be where a lot of people go to kind of like get their life together, get established, you know. It's an answer for a lot of people. And I just took time to kind of like just think about the things that my mom has been through, growing up for so long without her father, who died when she was a baby, and then later on getting a stepfather when she was like 10 or so. They were never really close. And so just all of the things that she went through, there was other stuff that happened to her when she was in the military that was very dramatic. And me just trying to sit back and understand where my mom was and what could potentially have been her coping mechanisms or the things that she did to get through those trials in her life. And it really, it softened my heart on, you know, just like, oh gosh, this is a woman. This is a person. She's not just my mom, right? She's not just my mom. This is a whole person who has been through some things that I can't even imagine going through. It really softened my heart, and because there was one point in my life where I was like, I couldn't stand her. I couldn't stand her. So I'm so thankful that I don't feel that way now. I love my mom, and I appreciate what she could give to me because I know that's what she had to give. That's all she had to give. And so understanding our moms as women is real.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with you, and that's why I was like, I don't think it's crazy at all to feel I want an apology for what I didn't get. Because for a long time, for me, maybe you can relate, there was a gap, a huge disconnect. I understood what it was when I got older and knew the questions to ask, or maybe it was just safer for me to ask them at that age. Because for my mom, let's see, my brother was 19 when I was born. I was a oops baby. There's one. And for a long time growing up, I would hear her say she didn't want any more kids before me. So I internalized that as she didn't want me. She didn't want Breanna. That isn't what she was saying, but that's what I heard. So for a long time growing up, I just had the disconnect, like, you know, she doesn't want me anyway, you know. And so we were just very strained while living in the same household. I grew up with my parents. We're married. Doesn't mean that everything is perfect because you have married parents in the home. Yeah. And people assume that. So they write you off like you're good. You don't need the extra love and care or even the baseline because they feel like you had what they didn't have. And so, you know, as a child, being an aunt at 2, like learning all those things, having to grow up much older, much quicker than others around, I became resentful of my mom. Because I'm like, my brother is 19, he's grown. Well, why are you not checking on me? You're checking on him. Me not knowing, realizing she thought because I always had it together, that I didn't need that extra. I didn't need that hug. I didn't need that compliment or whichever. And so the older I got, really it was birth work that pushed me into learning my mom as a woman and not the mother. So I got older, got pushed into birth work, and which showed me you've been doing this work all along. You just didn't know what a word doula was, but you've been doing this since you were well in your teens. And I came into birth work as a birth doula, and I moved to postpartum care work because I noticed, you know, we're doing all this preparation around the main event, and then afterwards, mom doesn't get held after she's went through this major life transition. And you see people come and the first thing that they do is go straight to the baby. But mom is carrying this womb. You know, mom is developing. She's this new person. She's never going to be who she was before for years to come. Because I say you're postpartum for absolutely, every time. So I began to study that. Like, why is there such a gap? you know, you see so much touch points during birth. And I began to study postpartum care work, which led me to the African traditions of postpartum recovery and how it's so community centered, which led me to dance. I began to study how the hips carry trauma before I even took your class. So then when I took the class, and I was like, why can't I move like I normally move? I've been dancing all my life, you know, praise dance, competition cheerleading, all the things. But I look back at that first video of the class, and I'm like, ooh, girl, you couldn't move your shoulders. Your hips were not twisting. Like, what is happening? You know how to dance. But because I studied, when your body holds the trauma and the emotions that you didn't allow yourself to release, then it shows up when you try to dance or be free or whatever the things. So I asked my mom, how did I get here? Like, what's my birth story? Because here I am, been a doula for 4 years at that point, and I didn't know my full story. I only knew what she shared out loud around other people. So we had a conversation, and she told me my brother's birth story, and then she told me hers with me. I understood immediately why she didn't want any more children. She almost lost her life with my first brother. She shared openly now, which is why I'm comfortable sharing now. She had a miscarriage after my brother before me, which frightened her. She's had 2 near-death experiences. Why would she want to put herself through that again? And then she's pregnant with me, you know, and she's at that point 35. She's like, I had no idea I would be pregnant at this age. I was done. And then here you come, and you just act like you know it all as a baby when she felt like she didn't know it all as a parent. And I was like, oh, I should have asked you this years ago, but I wouldn't have received it the same way years ago. And so having that conversation, I understood what she meant by she didn't want further children. And it was like a huge, this weight that I had been carrying for so long because I felt like a burden or not planned, so not wanted. Like I carried all of that by myself for so long. And then when she realized, wow, like I have completely missed, like I didn't know to ask you these things because she didn't have the opportunity to ask her mother. So carrying that generation to generation, having to find the moment to learn who our people are, because now I do that with my aunties and asking them questions because I want to know my family history. One thing about us as Black Americans or African Americans, we don't often get the opportunity to name our generations. Like one of the mamas, Mama Dunn, I think she named her generation. She was able to name her father's parents and her mother's parents. And I was in awe because I'm like, I know I can't do that. I can do that too. So I began to work on that, and that has helped me learn my mom and my aunts as their name. My mom, Breanna Grant. I know who Breanna Grant is and not just mom or grandma. But they didn't get that opportunity. So they just, you know, they're missing that part. And you carry that. I mean, I'm sure that sits as like a deficit in you, and it shows up. So I'm grateful that birth work and dance showed me what I was missing and learning who my family was and how that affected me.
Yeah, I love that. I think for me, and you know, I talk about this with Anaya, and Anaya, I'm asking Anaya now, like, how did I not show up for you? Please tell me. And she uses the same thing. Mom, you was a young mom, so I understand. But I'm like, no. I know, we already know I was a young mom. But tell me how I didn't show up for you, and what do you need from me now? So when we did have that conversation, after she told me about her male friend, she told me, I don't feel nurtured. And I was like, oh. And then it has you thinking, like, how I don't nurture you, girl? I do this and da-da-da-da-da-da. But she said, you have to do that. You're my mom. That's like a given. You have to do that. And I'm like, well, what you mean by nurtured? She was just like, stop lecturing me so much. Talk to me with, like, softness. Like, you always, she said, I know you went through what you went through, but I'm not after to hurt you. So I said, okay. She said, I'm not trying to hurt you. So that, she was like, Ma, I'm not trying to hurt you, so stop being aggressive with me. And I said, oh, wow. She was like, you carry so much from your past. So I was like, wow, I didn't know that I was, because you think we doing all the things that we supposed to do, right? Because we're the mom, this is the parents. Nobody giving me a book.
Yeah.
And she told me that at the table, in the kitchen area. And then she said, I'm not out to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you like, other people did in your past and your relationships, growing up in an abusive home. And I was like, whoa, I'm so sorry. She was like, yes, like, ease up. Like, soft girl era. Soft girl mom, She was like, you don't have to ball up your fist with me. Not that that's what I do, but she was just like, you just seem like you're just so angry and you want to just, she said, you don't have to worry about that from me, your daughter, because I love you. And that was a hard moment to have for her and I that day. And that really helped me, in that split of a second, that helped me realize, wow, I do carry so much of that past hurt, that past trauma of having to defend myself in a physical way. And she was there. She witnessed a lot of things that I had to go through to protect her too. She seen me fight to make sure she wasn't hurt. And she's like, you don't have to do that no more. You are safe with me. You are just safe in general, Mom. She was like, realize that. And mind you, Anaya was yelling this. We wasn't talking in a tone. Right. A good friend of mine, Shaniqua, was in there, and she was like, I didn't want to come out because y'all was going back and forth, yelling. The tone, it scared Zion, my son, and she really needed to get that out. And I let her have it. Normally it's like, don't talk to me like that, but it was a time to say, I'm going to let Anaya have it because she's been carrying this for years. Right. And that's what she said. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not after to hurt you. And I'm like, whoa, well, I'm let her have it because she needs that moment. Like you were saying, like we so quick to be told to go in a room and stay out of grown folks' business. Nope, not today. I don't want to talk today. Nope, you being disobedient. You being disrespectful. And this time I was like, I'm gonna let her have it because I need to know what she's been carrying for years with me. So yeah, I appreciate this that topic because that really showed me a lot with who I was taught to Anaya. I thought I was just doing all the nurturing things, and she said, "No, Mom, you always think I'm trying to do something to hurt you." And I'm like, "Gosh, I'm so sorry. I do apologize." And she told me what she would want me to work on better, and you got to be open to receive it when people tell you, especially your children, your family. No offense taken. I'm listening. What do you need from me? You're 19, about to be 20 next year. I want to be the best for you moving forward and teaching me for my son.
Yeah, right. So, and I really believe our children come to teach us. And another thing I was thinking when you said that, don't ask the question if you don't want to know the answer. Right. So once you open the door, you got to be prepared. Yes, you got to be prepared for what comes out. It can be totally something you never thought would have been the thing, and that's it. It's like we create our own stories in our head until we ask the question, and that carries over into all relationships, right? Like you male, female, you think your man is thinking how he said something to you, and you create your story in your head about what they were thinking and how they meant it, and until you ask for clarity. And let me just be clear. Are you saying, I'm like, oh, no, baby, I didn't mean it like that. Or maybe they did, but it's better to get clarity than to go on creating this story. Because I have grown up thinking, I grew up thinking that, having this feeling of abandonment. And I think it's because, like you, I was a very self-sufficient, even as a young, I remember my mom writing in my baby book. There's a point when my brother comes along, we're like a year and a half apart. And she says in the book that, she's content to play by herself. It's something about me playing on my own, and I'm very content here. And so I think that, like, that's where she, like, oh, she's good. She doesn't really need me. Right. Not hands-on Right. And so that's kind of what I felt. I felt this from that small age, even this sense of abandonment by actually both my parents, because my father left after, they didn't stay together. And so so there was that feeling. I carry that feeling of them being not there for me for a long time. And even though I grew up in the house with my mom, it still felt like she wasn't there for me. I found myself, because listen, I told you, from a young age, that's why I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm not going to be like her. I'm not going to do the things that she did, right? That's where I was at. But then I found myself at 17 pregnant. And I ended up having a miscarriage, and I was in a lot of pain. I had not shared that I was pregnant, but I was having this miscarriage. I don't think I was quite 3 months yet. Wow. And so I was having all of this pain, and then I was crying. I already been in all of this anxiety about what am I going to do. This coming up on my senior year, and I've got all these plans, and this is how my life is going to go. Not like this. Yeah. My life is going to go like this. I had this whole big plan, and again, I was in this moment where I was crying. I was having all of this pain, and then I went to the bathroom, and I released what wasn't living anymore. And then I saw that, and I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, there was a baby. That was a baby, and I was devastated. I could not get myself back together. Getting myself together was what I did, but I could not get myself back together. I went back to my room. Back to the room, because in the house I grew up in, I didn't have my own room. We shared a room, so my mom was in the room in her bed, and I couldn't stop crying. I was trying to be quiet, but I couldn't stop crying. And she was like, "What is going on?" And I just told her, and all of that compassion and nurturing that I felt like I didn't get before, she showered me with in that time, and was like, "It's okay. I understand," And then she took me to the hospital, and she was there for me, And I don't know if she even told my grandmother about it, because we were living with my grandmother at the time too. But that was something that she and I shared, and it kind of helped me to see her differently. Even after that, we still had I still had those issues, but it started me to thinking, like, this isn't who I thought she was, and my limited understanding as a teenager, So I had to expand my thinking starting then about who this woman is that is in my life, and so, yeah, we really do need to try, as we get older, try and understand, no matter the trauma that we have and how good or bad the relationship is, trying to understand each other as people. Because I'm sure now, Amahklè, you're trying to understand your daughter as a young woman, yes, not as your child, not your little girl anymore. She's a young woman coming into her own, and how she's got to make her own mistakes and do her own things. And I'm pretty sure, I feel like some of that so-called aggression, some of that hardness with her was so that she wouldn't make the mistakes that you did. Absolutely. That was like, you're trying to lay this ground. No, you're not going to do the things that I did. You're going to be better than me, right? Yeah. But to her, it felt like, too much.
Yeah, I think after high school, she, it's different. It hits different now, but it was like, I'm not pregnant. See? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know you're not pregnant. She's like, I got my diploma. And I didn't, at that time, I didn't put it together why she came that way. And, but now because I was, I do not, yeah. So, but now she's just like, happy now. I'm like, Yes, Anaya, I'm proud of you. But I didn't pick up what she was putting down. I didn't pick it up. But I know now. Okay. Anaya, I'm proud of you. Like, I don't even want to talk about you being a teenage mom. Like, you made it through high school, throughout that wasn't even a topic of discussion. It was the other things she had going on in school. And it was not even that topic.
I was just looking around and looking at some of the symbols. We were talking about symbols earlier, and you have that Sankofa ring, and you have, and you got an Ankh ring on. I've got my Yèyè ring on here, and so we wear symbols as well. I'm gonna let somebody else say why do you wear the symbols that you do.
I asked Breanna that with her rings.
You did. Oftentimes, here recently, I've noticed that more though. People ask me about my rings. I went to the Black Maternal Health Day of Action this past Wednesday, and one of the organizers looked at my rings and was like, "Oh my goodness, what are these? Can I ask? Can I ask what are these?" And I told her, and she was like, "Do you change your bracelets out every day? They all look so different." I said, "Well, some of them." So same process, which is good. I do the same thing with my T-shirts. Anytime I'm going somewhere, I wear a shirt with a message because it brings on conversation. Right. So Sankofa, which I learned while studying postpartum care in African traditionary. And for me, to simplify it, it does go back to the Yoruba traditions, but it means to go back and get. So go back and look at your history, look at what came before you, what occurred before you, and learn how it informs your today, your current. And that's literally my life. I feel like it's literally my life. So I wear this one every day, because it literally, it's the truth. We've talked about it throughout today so far, how behaviors that we've seen in other people inform how we showed up as ourselves. It may not have been our identifiers by choice, but it's just how we showed up. Like I responded and I began to act a certain way when I wasn't getting what I need from my mom. I had expectations, but I didn't share them. But I had to go back to her like, hey, what? I don't know you outside of mom and secretary of the church. And like everybody knows you as that. But who are you? Like, who is Brenda? What's something about you that, you know? And when she began to share more things about herself, it's funny. I never realized just how funny my mom was. Like, she could really be a comedian because growing up, she didn't show that part of her. She was very serious and
Mothering.
very mothering, and she missed out on the nurturing part because she didn't think I needed that part. But everyone else got it though. My nieces, my nephews, my cousins, like everybody's like, your mom is so sweet. I'm like, girl. Which she was, she gave me what she believed I needed at the time. And now I can respect that more than I could then. But Sankofa teaches us that whether it was our history, our bloodline, it could be just the history of our people. And looking at where that came from and then learning, okay, this is what that path looks like, and then letting it inform where we are now.
So that is an Adinkra symbol. It goes back to the Akan people. But yes, that's a beautiful symbol. I love Sankofa.
I want to talk more so about my bracelet. I wear every day. I wear every day. Okay. When I 2 years ago with a attempt, suicide attempt, and coming over that, I said to myself, if it's not love, I don't want it. And that's from anybody, not just romantically related. No, any relationship, any relationship that I form or just comes my way or I go to it. If I don't feel it, see it, sense it. I mean, if my intuition's like no, 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 I don't want nothing to do with it. Get out of my way. Don't come near me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And that's how I took this very seriously to heart. I don't care how old it gets. Right. I don't even try to clean it anymore, being carpet and all the things. I think there's, different carpets, works different ways anyway with cleaning. But This is why I don't even have anything on this arm. And Breanna knows when it comes down to performing, I don't cover this up with any bracelets, no anything. I have to see it verbally. Like, I have to know, is it love? I have to check off the boxes. I cannot risk anything anymore, especially after what I did to myself 2 years ago. I would not go back there. So yeah, this is the most, I don't care what I got going on, this is the most valuable thing I have on my body. I wear it every day. I do not take it off, shower with it, washing it, cleaning it on my wrist, because it's a reminder that if it's not love, I don't want it.
Yeah, that's right.
This is deep for me. The aunt came from what Mama Tanya at the Healing Wheel, and we did it with the Souls of Beauty too, and we did the
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
what that
it was love.
Learning.
We was just doing it. We was just we
just
it
came- well,
yeah, it was natural,
It showed
but
up though, because the messaging of that was
we was calling out our
ancestors by
ancestors,
their names.
yeah, by their names, because that's the event we danced at.
yeah.
And that's what we did in our white, and it was very beautiful. I loved it. I still got the video, but that's where the Ankh symbol came from the Healing Wheel retreat. And life, everything else she was talking about it. The word, like I said, because that was after the attempt too. So everything was like life. Yes, I'm living life. You know, yes. So that's how I started. And then of course I got deep connection to it with the meaning. But that's where it came. That's the birth of it for me. Life, okay. Love, okay. So yes. So I wear these faithfully, more so than anything.
The adornment is like a reminder to you of how you're living. It reminds you to what for Breanna, it's like looking back and forward to find the way forward.
Learning, using those lessons to inform our forward, yes.
And for you, it's like this reminder to embrace the love and not the other stuff.
No, not the other toxic stuff.
Right, love and life.
Love and life, and that's what. And she knows I wear this every time. This is my babies. If I lose it, I don't. Oh my God! This is it. I dance with the Souls of Beauty. I make sure it don't slip off, because we always say don't wear jewelry that slips off.
Right.
But these are the two that stays on for me. Yep.
Right.
And you said that's my
I
first
have
time
my
knowing.
ring. This is it says Yèyè because Kandake gave me this, and she gave me this for Mother's Day. But in general, and like my ring has a lot of different symbols on my wedding band. It has a lot of different symbols on it, Adinkra and Kemetic, which is ancient Egyptian. But because they all say something that we wanted to incorporate into our marriage. But symbols that I wear, like these Jinyame earrings that I wear. This is one of my favorite Adinkra symbols. I keep these on all the time. If I clean them up, put them right back in, because that's it. This is accept God, fear none. I'm trying to not live my life in fear, in nothing but not doing what God says for me to do.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And moving towards living that way. If it ain't, there's no reason to be afraid of what's happening in this life, because what's going to happen is what's supposed to happen, as long as I'm doing what God said for me to do. That's what that says to me. But also it's a reminder. It's like I put on certain things for reminders, and it's almost like a ritual of preparation for the day and protection. Like I'm preparing for this day, and I'm getting ready, and I know if I wear a certain thing on my shirt, I know what I can expect.
Right.
Either the good and the bad. So some people gonna like it, some people gonna hate it, and I'm ready for all of that. I'm gonna be ready for all of that. This ring just reminds me of, my daughter's love for me, and then the community calling me Yèyè, and so that, and I've always loved cowrie shells from way, way back. cowrie shells, just, I don't know, I've loved them since a long time. When I first started making jewelry, doing anything creative, it was with cowrie shells. And yeah, I love those. So they look, they feel like womb work, they feel like wealth, they feel like prosperity, they feel like growth.
I recently began to wear the bells with my cowrie shells, and I take it off, but it's always on my right wrist. No particular reason, but they just always land that way. I just realized that sitting here, but I'm not going to do it now because we have the beautiful microphones on, and you're going to hear them if I move it. But sometimes if like I need to woosah, I just shake it and just listen to that and not listen to the noise.
Right. I love that.
Yes. Helps to ground, calm that chaotic energy.
We are like so similar in many ways, but different at the same time. Like, because I wear my white today too, and the bleeds. The blue too. So I love that preparing and what the colors mean to you, and learning for me, learning more in the the orishas and other things. Right. So getting into that and Yimaya and other things. So that's what I'm honoring as well coming into the space today. So I love that, the preparation and just really setting the tone for yourself. I love that with the colors, with the symbols, and and it's beautiful that we all kind of like have we have that same mindset. It's really dope to know that, because I question her and I see her all the time, and I'm like, my sis be doing it. Let me tell you something. It be up here, and
Look, some days I be needing all the energy and protection I need.
But I love it. I love it because that's her. You know what I mean? And I love that that she has her own everything, her own style, flavor, everything. Girl, I just feel like that's my girl. Look, that we be tripping. Look. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. I know one thing before we close out. For me, I'm gonna just keep it. Go to how I talk. Women empowerment for me is letting women, youth, know that again, you got this. Like standing together, rising up together. You fall, I'm gonna fall with you, but we gonna get back up together. You ain't gonna be down there by yourself. And that's how I flow when I talk, to women, to youth girls when I was doing Teen Edition. You have a voice, Teen Edition, and talking to Anaya, pouring into Kandake when they come over and they going through their thing. I'm like, can I say something to y'all right quick? So really, 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 really and giving that reminder of you are not alone. You are not alone. You have so much support in this community. Just ask. Just ask. Reach out. We here. It's lots of resources out here. Definitely being an advocate for mental health because of what took place with me 2 years ago. I am standing really firm, true believer that you can get through it. It's gonna take time, but you can get through it. And go at your own flow, at your own pace. You don't have to rush this healing journey. Like, it takes time anyway. So be patient, grace, like, it's okay, but you're not alone. I can go more into women empowerment, but for me, that's what it is for me. And that's why I create spaces, healing waves, supports if, one can't come to healing retreat, the healing wheel. You can come to an hour, in person or virtual and just talk to, in that space, if you can't make it to a bigger, space, I have that, you know what I mean? Breanna's representing it very beautifully, healing waves, it's beautiful. So it's we out here. We out here. Breanna, beautiful sister to talk to, you know what I mean? Beautiful friend to talk to. We don't talk about birth work because I don't have, that going on with me right now. But you can talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, and she has been that for me with my mental health things that I was going on. But we out here, and we're here.
Learning and growing.
Right.
Living, learning, and growing.
We here.
Exactly. So you talked about what women's empowerment with you. We can wrap it up with that. You want to say?
Yeah, women's empowerment for me is living, learning, and growing. It really is being aware and reminded of your voice. Actually, in one of my bios, it's not in this one because I was like, ooh, let me shorten this. My God, this is professional. What is all of this going on? But I say I am the other voice for families. Oftentimes, and it's by design, but oftentimes people forget that they have a voice and that their voice, whatever comes from it, actually matters. It's intentional. It needs to be heard, read, whichever. And I consider myself an other voice for those who forget. And that's what women's empowerment is. So having the knowledge and support there readily available. And for me, empowerment is sharing the knowledge that I've gained. I've had the opportunity to go to conferences, attend trainings, attend workshops, dancing classes across, here and out of the state to learn these things. And I have the agency to share that knowledge as well. That for me is empowerment. So that when folks have the information, they can make an actual informed decision, whatever that is. Like the decision could be, do these socks look good with these shoes or should I wear tights? Or it could be, what do you think about this care for my journey or this care? Like, would you recommend this provider or this insurance? Like when I say every decision, it should be informed, but we can't do that if we don't have the information. Or we can't do it comfortably if we don't have support. That's what empowerment looks like for me. Yeah. Oh, and generational empowerment. I didn't even write this down. It just came to me. Because I am auntie, I'm very intentional with our youth, my younger cousins, and they see a different world than I see growing up. Like I went through the changes of technology, school, community, and family being there all the time. They don't have that opportunity anymore. So at every chance that I get, I make it an effort to pour into our youth so that they know where that community care is. It may not look the same as what I received growing up, but you just have to be more intentional to build your community. And that to me is also empowerment, empowering our younger generation, because they at someday will take our seats that would be and we have to be comfortable to hand it off to them.
Yep. That's empowerment. Oh, wow. This has been great. Thank you for being here with me today. I will share what I feel like women's empowerment is. For me in particular, it's about knowing and tapping into your power. Like really tapping into. So it starts with the self. It starts with getting to know your womb and what your womb work is. Your womb work is your life passion. In my, that's for me, is your purpose. Womb work aligns you with your purpose and helps you be the most creative in that way, the most productive and the most prosperous in that way. So learning to align with your womb, whether it's through dance, whether it's through speaking your voice, whether it's through singing, whatever way that you align with your womb and heal the trauma that's there. Because when you heal that trauma that's there, oh my gosh, how can we grow? How much can we grow? How much can we not be sick and instead be prosperous? So that's what that empowerment is. It's just learning what your power is and learning how to wield that power and spread that joy. So let me just say thank you to our listeners. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Indigo's Ideas. Yes. I would love for you all to put into the comments what you think or what your idea of women's empowerment is. Share with us about that. Be sure that you are following us on Facebook and Instagram, Indigo's Cultural Art Centers, and visit us at indigoscac.org for information about all of our programs. And thank you. Be supportive. Be supportive of women. Be supportive of us, because we need that support, and we appreciate all of the love. If, like Amahklè said, if it ain't love, I don't want it. So if there's some love behind what you're doing, put some love in that thing. That's one of my mottos when I go to work too, as a labor and delivery nurse, or really all the work. How do I love on the mamas? How do I love on them in a way that, is appropriate, because I'm the nurse, I'm not their best friend. But I want to approach them like that, and love on them in the way, whatever way that I can, and in whatever way they're open to. So love on the mamas, the aunties, the sisters, the cousins. Okay, love on us, and then, because what we're going to do, we're going to multiply it and give it back to you. Okay? Right? Ashe and amen. Thank you.